Hi, it's Liz with Big Tex Worms and WormBinComposting.com. Today I'm going to show you how to harvest your worm castings. First item of business, make sure you watch my video on how to know when it's time to harvest. That's very helpful. If you want to wait till your bed is about halfway to 3/4 of the way full, your bin is, and you want to wait till your castings look pretty well processed like these. You want them to look like coffee grounds. Maybe just a few little coarse pieces in there, but you want it to be mostly processed, okay? The very easiest way to harvest, it's hands-off harvesting, but it takes about 2 to 3 months, is to simply feed in one corner of your bin and grab out, come over here, you're just gonna, like I fed over here, I fed the corn, and you could just about once a week after you feed, just come in and grab out this whole area where the food is and see how it's going to have all the worms in it, and then you just put that in your new bin, and then you put a whole new stock of feed over here in this corner again, and then in a week you come in and grab all the worms out and put them in the bin, and it takes about 4 to 6 weeks of doing that, and you will get most of the worms out of your bin. So you can do it that way. It's a very simple way to get all the worms out of your bin. Most people want to get the worms out of their bin, come over here, get the worms out of their bin quicker, so we call this, back up just a little bit, we call this pile harvesting, and this way you can harvest pretty much your entire bin in one afternoon. All you do is simply take a big glob of your worm castings, and I usually do it on either a bin lid or my 5-gallon bucket lid like this. You put it in the sun, you leave it for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then you come out and you shave off the top portion of your castings until you start seeing worms again. You see, I'm seeing worms, so then I would normally just wait another 10 or 15 minutes, let the sun make the worms travel down, but you can see how quickly they go down. But in this case, I'm just going to simply take the worms and set them over here on the side just so I can show you. And then you're going to keep coming down. You can hand pick the stragglers out. And then after you've done this for about an hour, come back and let them go down, and then come back. You should have a big pile of worms at the very bottom of your pile here. And so what you would do is you would put your worms into your bin that's been prepared, and you store your castings to use in your garden. Whenever you store your castings, you need to store them in a 5-gallon bucket or a 3-gallon bucket or a 2-gallon bucket. It needs to be have air holes drilled in it, and it needs to have a lid. The castings are live, so you want to keep them live, so they need to stay moist and they need to have airflow. So if you're going to store them for longer than 3 to 4 weeks after you've harvested them, you need to moisten them with just sprinkle them with water every couple of weeks to make sure they stay live and stay moist. You don't want them to dry out. So you've harvested your castings. If you're wondering how many worms you have, one of the things whenever you harvest your castings is you want to make sure that you're still using the right size bin, because remember, you have about a pound of worms per square foot of space. So if you're in a 10-gallon tote, about a pound of worms is all it can tolerate. So you want to make sure that you don't have too many worms for your bin, otherwise they're going to stop breeding, they're going to stop eating, and so what's the point of that? So if you don't have a scale at home where you can weigh your worms to see how many worms you have, if you just have a 16-ounce drink cup, you could fill the cup up with worms, and you know that that's a pound of worms. 16 ounces in a pound. Half a cup would be half a pound. And if you're in between half a cup and a full cup, you know you're still okay to go ahead and use that 10-gallon container. But if you're at a full cup, you know you probably need to either make another 10-gallon container, or you need to share your worms with a friend. I hope you learned a lot from today's video, harvesting your worm bin, and come back for more videos later. Bye-bye.